Well, thank you everyone, first of all, for joining, and uh, good morning to everyone. I hope you are all in good health. The topic that I'm going to cover in this webinar is basically how Sangfor VDI transforms education anywhere and anytime. This will help you understand how Sangfor A-Desk, which is our VDI, can simplify the learning for students and how IT can manage the VDI with simplicity. So I hope you all can see my screen, and if you have any questions, you can please drop those questions in the Q&A section, and I will answer that at the end of my session, or if possible, I will surely stop in between and answer your questions as well, right? Okay, so a quick introduction of myself. My name is Gazali Aga. I am the pre-sales manager within Sangfor, and I mainly look after our cloud solutions and products, which is basically our HCI, VDI, and enterprise storage. And this webinar is more on our VDI, which is specific to the Sangfor VDI in the education sector and how it will enhance the learning and teaching experience of the teachers as well. Along with me, my colleague is going to join with you all as well. His name is Ganesh Malpute. He is the senior regional sales manager. Right. So, what are the takeaways from this webinar that you are going to get, and what you will benefit from this webinar? Let's go through that quickly as well. So I'll be covering few things where I'll talk about the current trend in the education sector, the what we are seeing now, and what is the future of the digital learning. And then the challenges in traditional IT infrastructure. When I say traditional IT infrastructure, it means the physical PCs that is being used in some of the schools and universities. M- m- uh, Maybe like physical workstation, Windows or Mac, both of them, right? And then why Sangfor and how can Sangfor help uh, in simplifying the way teachers teach and students learn, and how it can also simplify at the same time the management for the IT department of the education sectors, right? Now, when you have all these things in place, of course, there are certain other things also that we have to keep in mind. How about the security? How can we prevent the data being misused? Because there will be a lot of students, accessing the environment, accessing the resources. How can we stop from the misuse of the data? And then overall, how cost effective is the overall solution, and how it can be centrally managed. And then I will cover few of the use cases that will help you also understand where Sangfor VDI can fit, and as Sangfor partners, how and what use cases that you understand and you can go to when you go to customers, what you can talk about. Like for example, in the what are the use cases in the classrooms, labs, and remote learning. That's where the education sector is going right now, the way they are going, the way students want to learn, right? So once these things are covered, I'll go through, we'll have some time for the Q&A session as well. So if you have any questions, you can drop it down in the Q&A section, and I will try my best to answer all of them as well. Okay, again, thank you for joining everyone, and I will start with our webinar now. So, looking at the trend, right? So, to start with, let me share some of the big changes we are seeing, right, in education nowadays, because the way students learn and teachers teach is evolving, right? One of the most noticeable shifts is how much more accessible learning has become. Whether a student is in a city, or let's say in a remote location, maybe in some countries in a remote village, or the student has some special needs, Digital tools are making it possible for everyone to get access to education more easily than ever before. And that's largely thanks to cloud-based learning platforms. These days, students don't need to be physically in a classroom to learn. They can log in from home, join a lesson, download materials. Everything is available online and anytime. Of course, with more devices in use, like laptops, tablets, mobile phones, security becomes a big concern, right? So, schools and universities are being pushed to protect student data and create safe digital environments, especially as cyber threats continue to grow. Now, another exciting trend is the use of big data in education. Schools can now analyze things like test results, attendance of the students, or even engagement levels to better understand how students are doing and then use that insight to improve teaching methods as well. We are also seeing a move towards personalized learning. Instead of a one size fits all, technology is helping tailor education to each student's pace and style. So every learner gets what they need when they need it, right? And then there's this virtual reality, which is opening doors for more immersive learning. Imagine students walking through ancient cities or exploring the human body in 3D, or a hotel management student experiencing a real scenario with customers. This is what's happening nowadays. So uh, they can experience that, like real through virtual reality, and they can it is making them, learn in a better way. But it's not just about technology, it's also about values. Schools are now focusing on teaching digital citizenship, which is basically helping students understand how to stay safe, respectful, and responsible online. And finally, we have the Internet of Things, or IoT, bringing smart devices into classrooms like smart boards, for example. IoT is making learning spaces more interactive and connected than ever before. All of this really highlights one thing: digital transformation is no longer optional in education. It has become an essential part for education, right? Now, also, cloud computing is one of the biggest game changers. It's helping schools and universities modernize how they teach and manage learning. And it's doing this in a way that's fast, flexible, and affordable. With cloud computing, everything moves online, from classrooms to content. Think about how many schools are now using Learning Management System, or LMS. These systems make it easy for teachers to share assignments, give feedback, and track progress as well. We also have virtual classrooms, which became especially popular during the pandemic, but they're still widely used. Students can attend live sessions from home, interact with teachers, and even do group work, just like they would in a physical classroom. Plus, cloud platforms allow for faster delivery of digital content, whether it's a video lesson, an online quiz, or a digital textbook. Everything is available instantly through the cloud. And let's not forget collaboration. Cloud computing makes it easy for students to work together, whether it's sharing documents, chatting on platforms, or doing joint projects. They can all be connected no matter where they are. So overall, cloud computing, or going digital, is not just a support tool anymore. It's at the center of modern education. And Sangfor VDI is built to support this digital learning environment, making it secure, scalable, and easy to manage for educational institutions. Now, the other benefits that we get with going digital is, of course, ease of accessibility. From anywhere at any given point of time can be accessed the materials and the content. Scalability is more easy as students grow, as the requirement grows, as the resources are required more. IT can seamlessly scale the number of virtual machines, virtual desktops for the users within few clicks, and desktop and content can be delivered to the students, right? It has become, it gives more agility and innovation for, especially when it comes to education sector, right? If we look at a comparison of physical workstations, normally there is a policy of revamping between 3 to 5 years, whereas if you have a VDI environment, it makes it, you can have that environment running even for in some cases, it can run for even 7 to 8 years as well, depending on what kind of resources and hardware and the CPU and the resources that you're using, right? So all that you have to do is just scale as required. That's it, correct? And of course, after all this, cost, comparing with the traditional and the PC and workstations, VDI becomes more cost effective overall. Now, as we can see from this chart as well, digitalization in education is not just a trend, it's growing fast globally. Back in 2020, the adoption of cloud in education was still developing. By 2022, we saw a steady increase, but what's really exciting is the projection for 2029. The market is expected to reach over $93 billion, right? So you can see where the digitalization, when it, especially when it comes to education as well, where it is going in the future. So and we don't know what new technologies and what all things are going to be integrated as well. That only time will tell us, right? But as of now, we have to be ready, and we have to educate our customers, we have to educate ourselves, how and what role can we play here to be a part of that trend, right? So that is where Sangfor ADESC, which is our VDI, comes into play, and that's how we can simplify the way education sectors are, you know, can leverage these kind of technologies in this era. So let's take a look at the challenge of traditional PC solutions in training room. For example, there might be multiple environments, multiple scenarios, maybe labs, training rooms, a classroom, maybe a virtual classroom. Let's see, in a training room, students might need to use spatial software for engineering or design classes, but the computers may go slow or freeze constantly, right? These PCs can break down and and needs to be recovered, which is actually a very lengthy process. In the library, one infected USB drive can wipe out all the computers, correct? In normal classrooms, most don't even have computers for students. Teachers can't see what students are really doing on their screens. In some classes, what happens is, after the class, someone has to manually reset everything. It can waste 15 to 20 minutes between every class. These are basically few challenges that traditional solutions can bring. Even for teachers and labs, they can't teach remotely when needed. Files get saved in different places. Some files are even lost. Important student data isn't properly protected. And then overall, the students and teachers may not have access to their materials from outside of the campus, also, right? Now, why Sangfor and what can Sangfor do here? Let's go through that a bit, and understand what we can do in the education sector, right? And what, as a VDI solution and as a VDI vendor, what we have here. So first of all, uh, Sangfor ADESC as a virtual desktop infrastructure solution. It is more efficient. You are uh, getting what you need when you need it. It is more resilient. There is no you. when we speak about data, application, access, virtual desktops, everything is redundant with minimum failures. The materials and the contents can always be accessed, and it is more secured overall, right? Now, for those who are aware of how the traditional PCs used to work, let me give a quick example. What happens is, so let's say you have around 100, or let's say in a lab, or in an environment where there are, let's say, 20 machines being used. These machines, first of all, the data is very important. The data is dispersed here and there. You never know in which machines what data is located. If the data is lost, you cannot do anything. You don't know how to recover it unless you have the backups going on daily, right? And the data can be misused as well. The data can be misused and taken outside of the organization, maybe into a USB, an external drive, or anything. Then the applications are managed and maintained separately on these machines. If we look at exam management applications, or learning management systems, for example, in these physical workstations, it can be separately installed and maintained separately. So these brings a lot of challenges, and especially when it comes to physical workstations, IT has to spend a lot of time when it comes to troubleshooting of the hardware, or changing the components, the maintaining the drivers, and all of that. A lot of time is consumed here. Sangfor VDI is basically consolidating all of these into a single location. Now, teachers and students, they can just come to their lab or to the classroom and just log in, and they are getting a virtual desktop which they don't even feel that it is running somewhere else. The experience is seamless. It is as if it is going to run locally. It's running locally in their system. The systems can be of again, a thin client, which is a very lightweight thin client, or it can also be a laptop. It can be a personal device of the students as well. And when they log into VDI, they are getting a full-fledged virtual desktop. Now, when it comes to data, data is protected there. Data is centrally located in the servers. For students or for any users, it is going to feel as if everything what they're doing is being saved locally, but in reality, it's being saved in the servers. And if any data has been lost, for example, someone removes certain files, IT can immediately do a restore within few clicks as well. And then when it comes to applications are now maintained. The patches and all of that can be installed centrally. You can push the patches within few clicks to hundreds of machines, and maintain and distribute the applications from a central location. So these are the three main aspects, and what matters the most. These are the three main points which we, as a Sangfor VDI, it can be consolidated into a central location, and IT can manage that with much more simplicity. Now, when it comes to managing the application, f- there might be users, there might be students, who just simply download a lot of applications. To avoid that, you can blacklist and whitelist applications. What applications can be used, what applications cannot be used. Let's say if there is a specific requirement for a teacher, you can immediately distribute an application to the teacher when required. It does not have to be part of the basic applications only. Other than the basic applications required, you can quickly distribute to each user as well what application they are going to require, based on of course, the approval and what applications are allowed to use. Correct. Now, other than that, when I speak about downloading applications, there might be requirement for some teachers, or maybe for some senior students, that certain applications they need to download and use it, right? So here what you can do is you can create your own application store. IT can create an application store with the allowed applications in that store. Now, students, instead of downloading the applications all the way from WAN, they can just download it from LAN and save a lot of bandwidth consumption as well. and you can block the download from the internet. You can only allow downloading the allowed applications from the application store here. So this makes it more simple for IT to manage these access to the applications and put certain restrictions. Now, how do we manage the user profiles, and how do we manage the creation of machines, right? First thing, for different classrooms, for different students, from uh, from maybe from the first standard, let's say if there are any junior students to senior students, you can segregate their profiles accordingly and store those profiles centrally in a central location, where, let's say for example, students they come with a certain requirement where they you want to maintain their profile as it is. When they do any changes, you can store that in a central location. Or for other students who do not have this kind of requirement, where it doesn't matter if they save anything, when they log in, they want a fresh desktop. You can, once the desktop has been logged out, everything that the user was doing in that virtual desktop will be removed, and it will give them a fresh desktop in the next login. But for those users who require to save certain applications and data for in their profile, that can be stored centrally, and that profile backup can be taken by our native backup capability as well. So in case if anybody removes something by mistake, it can quickly be restored as well. Applications, again, applications, as I was speaking about, application can be distributed to these users based on their requirement quickly through the VDI's management console. Now, from based on the classroom and the requirement, number of VMs and groups can be created separately, and within few clicks you will create multiple templates. Let's say for teachers a different template of VM, for students a different template for Windows 10 or Windows 11. And from the VDC, which is our management console, you can just right click and create multiple machines out of it within few clicks, right? So this is how it will simplify the way even IT is going to manage the VDI environment. Now, for students and teacher, when it comes to the learning part, teachers, within few clicks from their desktop, their session, they can quickly share what they want to teach to the other students in the classroom as well. And they can remotely control their machines as well. When I say remotely control the machines, means, let's say if there is a user, he's not focusing and he's just playing some game, or maybe he's just browsing here and there, teachers can control and block what they're doing and give out a message on the screen, which you can see here as an example, right? So this will help teachers control and make sure that students are focusing in the class as well. And distribution of material can be done quickly. There will not be any need for students to download the materials all the way, maybe from a different location, from the internet, or if it is huge files, wait for these files to be downloaded. Teachers can immediately just distribute the required learning materials to all of the students in the class, and the students can quickly go to that location within the desktop and access these materials, right? Now, let's say for 3D requirements, where there are certain engineering students, right, who might want certain 3D applications to be run in the labs when they are practicing. For them, we support NVIDIA, we support vGPUs as well, we support AMD also. So with this, VDI can provide a seamless experience as if everything is running locally only, with faster response even for the 3D applications. So students who want to practice on 3D applications now can seamlessly do that, not only from within campus, but if they require to do that outside the campus also, they can quickly access from their personal devices and they can practice on these applications, which are the 3D applications as well. right? Now, how do we manage and what is the architecture of Sangfor's VDI? To give a quick comparison so you understand the difference here. In other solutions or other platforms out there, what happens is there are minimum 7 to 8 components that you have to maintain and manage to deliver VDIs to the users. Now, it can be a database server, it can be a management server, it can be a monitoring server, it can be a gateway, a load balancer, all of these. It comes up to 7 to 8 components separately managed, and you have to ensure that every time these components are updated time to time. If you don't do that, you don't get support if there is any issue. In case of Sangfor, what happens is we have only one appliance which is known as Virtual Desktop Controller, which does which has all and it does everything that is required to deliver a virtual desktop to a user, from the management server to monitoring to licenses. Database also is local to that appliance. You do not have to maintain a separate MySQL or let's say any SQL server separately. You have the option to do that as well, but you do not require to do that. You will save a lot of cost on the SQL licenses as well, correct? So even the gateway is built into it. So for remote locations, the gateway feature is also within the same appliance. And of course it can be created in high availability as well, where one of the appliance will be active and the other one passive, right? So you just have to focus and maintain on this single appliance only. There is no multiple components separately to manage, from AD integration to multi-factor authentication, how you're going to authorize and authenticate a user to ensure that he has the access to the right resources as well. All of that and the security policies, everything is managed from this appliance, which is the management control plane for Sangfor VDI. Now, uh, to deliver, a better or a greater user experience, Sangfor has built their own protocol known as HEDC, built by Sangfor for Sangfor. It has been developed by experienced and dedicated PhD team who developed this protocol to deliver the seamless experience with where we have 50 plus patents. It basically creates a tunnel between the user's device to the backend resources, and every type of data that is being transmitted, of course it will be compressed and it will be encrypted as well, but every type of data is transmitted in separate tunnel, where the content is delivered much better, where at the end, even for 2D or 3D, the experience is as if it is running locally and without lagging and much faster. So even even if it is 2D 3D, if you want to play 4K videos, you have high frame rates requirement, it doesn't matter. HEDC is going to give you that seamless experience even in low bandwidth environments. As you can see on the screen, for 2D requirements, it is less than 100 kbps. For 3D sessions, it can consume less than 2 mbps as well. So even for those environments where there is a limitation or challenges on the bandwidth part, with limited bandwidth you can still get the same and great experience for both 2D and 3D users as well. Now, where does this VDI that I'm talking about sit? It actually sits on our hyper-converged infrastructure, which is our, where we have our own hypervisor, we have our own, virtual storage, where we have our virtual networking. All of these components brought together creates our hyper-converged infrastructure, and VDI sits on top of this layer, right? So you can run your VDI virtual desktops, whether it is your Windows 10, Windows 11, or if it is only virtual apps, where you can get, which can be built on Windows servers as well, parallel to that, you can also run other workloads on the same HCI as well. So you will have, so we basically then will have the HCI platform. On top of that, we are going to run our VDI, and VDI and HCI will be tightly integrated, and you can manage all of your VDI machines not only from the hypervisor of our HCI, but also through our virtual delivery controller, where you can virtual desktop controller, sorry, and where you can manage the entire virtual machines, virtual desktops of the users as well. Shut down, restart, turn on, all of these, creating the policies for these machines, everything can be done via that. You can do a complete lifecycle management of these VMs, these machines, through the VDC itself, right? Now, looking at how can we secure the data of the students and teachers and the entire, content and the study materials, we have our native backup, which is basically giving up to 1 hour RPO, where which is part of the HCI platform again, and any VM running any machine running on top of HCI can be backed up with 1 hour RPO, where the VDI machines, the data, if there is a file server, there is any machine running, the even the VDI templates can be backed up, even the user profiles can be backed up. So tomorrow, if a student comes to you and says, if there's a senior student, he's saying that I had a certain file that is lost, or if I have a certain machine that has crashed and is not working properly, IT can immediately go and do a quick restore, right? Other than 1 hour RPO, we have the advanced backup as well, which is the continuous data protection, which gives which gives you 0 RPO, right? So we have two types of backup. One is the 1 hour RPO, and the other one is a 0 RPO. So you can choose between two, which one is suiting you best. If you have certain applications which require 0 RPO, you can go with the advanced backup as well. If you're okay with 1 hour RPO, you can go with the 1 hour RPO also. The advanced backup is licensed per VM wise as well, but 1 hour RPO is part of the platform, and it is not licensed separately. Now, to achieve, let's say, DR, we have, you can go with active passive DR as well for your VDI environment, or you can go with, active DR also, where the VDC appliances, active one will sit in the active site, and the passive VDC, which is the controller and the management platform for the VDI, will sit on the passive site or the DR site, right? So you can achieve both active passive, and you can achieve active sites as well. Now, in case of active sites, mostly there will be two use cases that where you will use an active stretched cluster, where you want to distribute the VDI workload across two sites, right? Or let's say you want both the sites to act as a DR to each other, right? We support that, and especially in case of VDI environments, having an active stretched cluster can be a good approach as well, but provided that the latency between these two sites are less than 10 millisecond, right? Or else you can go with maybe 1 hour RPO or 15 minutes RPO as active passive sites as well. Now, let's take a look at what are the security features that we have within our VDI, and how we can protect uh, the data from being misused, or any student, let's say, is trying to copy something outside to an external drive, or something, how we can protect that. So at the user level, we have certain policies that can be put in place, like, say, for example, to speak of the screen watermark, where if a student is learning from anywhere, let's say outside of the campus, you can put this policy in place where the session will have a screen watermarking. It will say that this belongs to so and so university, or school. The data belongs to so and so. This is the user. This is a student, or anything like that. So even if someone takes a picture and the data is distributed, the picture is distributed, they will know that this data belongs to so and so school or university. You can block the screenshot if any user is trying to take a screenshot of the screen will be shown as blank. Or if anybody has taken remote to the user's laptop, to the student's laptop, the VDI session in that will be shown as blank, right? Unless the remote session has been disconnected. Now, any file exporting outside of the session can be restricted as well. You can block the clipboard, no copy paste can happen, and no data, any type of data outside of taking outside of the session can be blocked as well. Not only taking outside, but also uh, you can block the import of the data into the session as well. You can then, of course, whitelist and blacklist USBs, unless a teacher or a student comes to you and says, I need to do so and so with approval, with certain auditing, you can approve the USB for certain scenarios as well. Now, looking at the client side, where the device is being used, you can put certain criterias in place saying that the machine should be Windows based only, and there has to be an antivirus, certain processes must be running. Multi-factor authentication is one of the criterias. All of these things are met, only then the access to the backend resources will be provided, whether the device belongs to the organization or whether the device belongs to a student or any other user, right? So once these criterias are met, only then the access will be given to the backend users. Yeah, and then of course we have our zero trust network access as well, which is known as a trust in Sangfor. So for zero trust access, you can integrate with zero trust as well to provide more secured remote access to the backend resources, to the VDI environment from anywhere outside of the campus as well. At the VDC level, of course, every data that is being transmitted is encrypted. There is end-to-end encryption as well. We have, everything sits on top of our HCI. We have our microsegmentation capability or a distributed firewall, where you can say VM to VM traffic needs to be blocked. So you can block that as well, and no user or no student can access other users' machine unless it is approved and it is a real requirement. At the hardware level, as we have certain capabilities within our HCI as well. So any VM that is running on the HCI can leverage that and can utilize those features. Now, other than just the backup I was speaking about for the VDI and the data of the students and teachers, you are getting multi-copy mechanism where every data is going to have two copies. So even if one of the node fails, right, for any reason, the data is intact. That's where I was talking about, the solution being resilient, right? Your access, your applications are up and running all the time, and students and teachers can access the materials and the contents at any given point of time as well. Uh, right, and of course we have data at rest encryption as well, where we support our native KMS server, which is the key management server, or if there is a Windows-based key management server, we support that as well. Now, as I was speaking about earlier, for VDI, there is no need of a heavy resource device that a user is going to use. A very lightweight thin client can also be used. Now, thin client will have only minimum resources. It can be a Linux based thin client. It can have maybe 1 to 2 GB of RAM. It can have maybe 100 GB of hard disk. With this limited resources, the purpose of thin client is to provide access to the backend, to the virtual desktop and the backend resources. So even in the labs, you can have the thin clients connected. A user is going to come, or a student or teacher is going to come, just turn on the thin client, and all that he's going to see directly is to enter the username and password. As soon as he enters the username and password, his desktop will be provided to him. There is no need of a physical workstation to be there to run or to provide access to the backend VDI environment. So most of the universities, they go with this approach. When we go with PCs, what happens is you have to revamp every 3 years, right? With thin clients, what happens is you can, of course, use that PCs which are being used, even if it has gone 5 to 7 years old, just to use it to access the backend machine. You can do that, which is a VDI, virtual desktop. You can do that, but no need to rely on that machine as your main uh, m- machine for learning and for teaching purpose. So we have seen a shift from using a physical PC to thin clients in most of the scenarios like this, right? So when having thin clients, it becomes more easy to manage as well. Let's say for any reason that the thin client crashes, which does not happen, but I'm just giving an example. If it is not working, you can immediately do replace with it with another thin client. You don't have to give a full-fledged physical workstation. The small, lightweight, thin client just can be replaced immediately, right? Now, the management, as again I was speaking about earlier as well, the management of the entire VDI environment is much simple. With few clicks, you can deliver any kind of applications, even if it is, for the exam purpose, even if it is for learning purpose, for engineers, for designing courses, all of this, the machines and the applications can be delivered on demand and as required with few clicks only. You can you can do a scheduled power on and power off to the virtual desktops which are running based on the classroom requirement. That is, you can keep the machine on for 1 hour. After 1 hour, the machine can shut down, and it will be shut down till the class time has come. So when students come at that given point of time, the machines will be turned on automatically. The machines I'm talking about is the virtual desktops which are running at the back end on the HCI environment. So it's the complete VDI environment can be managed with much simplicity as well. So when you have the policies pushed for power on and power off, you can save a lot of power as well uh, on in these kind of scenarios. Now, you can not only the applications, you can deliver the virtual desktops or machines on demand based on the requirement. Let's say if there is an exam going on or there is an exam going to take place and you need to add additional 10 users, you can just immediately go to the VDC, which is our virtual desktop controller, and you can say add 10 more machines for 10 more users. That is it, with the required resources required, right? You do not have to give a machine, even though the resources are not going to be used that much. You don't have to give machines with high resources, maybe 16 cores, 32 GB RAM. Based on the requirement, you can minimize the resource usage. You can assign the minimum resources required, and on demand, you can just deliver these machines as required in many of the scenarios. Now, when it comes to the troubleshooting part, let's say if a teacher is complaining that no, my session is not being accessed, my session is giving an issue, or the students are facing some issue, I'm not able to share my content, it is very slow. For example, it can be any issue that a user is complaining. We have our built-in monitoring and troubleshooting dashboard, where it is, powered by our native AI engine. It helps you drill down an issue. When you go to the dashboard, it will show you which cluster the issue is having, which node, which VM, the issue is there, which application is causing the issue, and who is the actual culprit. It is that particular process. So it will help you drill down the issue till that level as well. And when you come to this dashboard, it will show you the closest resolution. So once you apply that resolution, it will help you reduce the issue resolution time from hours to minutes as well. Right. Now, let's take a look at few of the use cases. Now, Now, to speak of the use cases, first of all, you you know you can have a standardized teaching environment. All teachers and students get the same desktop and software. No more compatibility issues. Easy access to the teaching tools. Teachers can access their desktop from any classroom. No need to carry files or laptops. Students log in and start learning immediately. No waiting for slow PCs to load. For lab scenarios, labs can run multiple course environments. Access can be provided based on user and lab requirement. Different software versions can run in separate virtual desktops without interfering. No need to install and update apps on every PC. Separately, you can just push the updates from a central location within few clicks to all the machines, and everything will be updated within 5 minutes as well. Then faster recovery. If a student or user breaks something, the desktop can be reset in seconds. With GPU support, Sangfor VDI can run design, AutoCAD, or 3D modeling applications for engineering or media courses as well. Now, other than that, also when it comes to thin clients of course can be used as well, which are very lightweight thin client, which will provide access to the required virtual desktops. Even an existing or old laptop can be reutilized as a thin client or just be used to access the virtual desktop, which will actually be with the higher resources for a better user experience. The desktop can be, with low resources, but when they access their virtual machine of the VDI environment, which has the required resources, the experience will be much better and much faster than having it running locally, right? For remote learning, students and teachers can access their school desktops from home or anywhere, even remotely. Users can safely connect to school software systems and files without a need of VPN. Sangfor, so here, Sangfor VD ensures stable, controlled performance even on low-end devices at home. If students must use their own laptops, then BYOD concept can be followed, where students can use their own laptops or tablets for accessing and learning and still get their school desktops, the materials, the content at home as well. There is no need to be sure, or no need to be in the campus only. Let's say even if you want to do access certain materials or wait for the other day, as required and when required, you can just access the resources from anywhere. So overall, overall, Sangfor VDI, also known as Sangfor ADESC, is enabling the students and teachers to access the materials to teach and to learn from anywhere, from any device, any given point of time if required, and access any material resources at the back end. Now, a teacher can attend or conduct a class remotely as well, distribute the content to everyone who is part of that class, and not necessary that they be in a specific location. As long as you have even on limited bandwidth, a teacher can conduct a classroom, and a student can attend that class from anywhere as well. So this is what we are enabling for and in the education sector, and making it simple for everyone, even for the IT, the way they are going to manage that with overall an extremely cost effective platform, right? So this is Sangfor ADESC or Sangfor Virtual Desktop Infrastructure. Now, just before I end my part here, just a quick thing that you can take away from this session. So, Sangfor's architecture is very simple. It does not have multiple components. It is overall cost effective. It can deliver better user experience to students and teachers and any other users as well. It has better compatibility for external devices. We support more than 1,000 peripherals out there. Any external device, maybe user can be using any USB based device. We can do the redirection to the virtual desktops. We have local support here in the UAE when it comes to technical support as well. For the IT, when they require technical support, our technical support team is much closer to you. For the Middle East, the TAC team sits here in the UAE, right? And you can reach out to them on a toll-free number or an email as well, right? So that's it from my side as of now. If you have any questions, please do put that in the Q&A section, and I will answer them. So for those who have joined here from our partners, right? So the this is what we can do for your education customers. So if you have not only schools but also universities, we can deliver these, and we can digitalize how the entire learning platform for them. And as you have already understood, the learning and teaching becomes more simple. So and if you need any help from our side, we are there for you here. You can surely let me know, you can let our team know as well, and we are more than happy to come with you and assist you and help our customers out there. Okay, so there is a question that is asking, can we block or restrict based on designations as well? What I understand by that question is you're saying based on the other than the department wise, can we do it based on the designation? Yes. So what you can do is you can apply a certain policy or restriction to a particular user also. It is not only necessary that it being applied to an entire group. You can choose a user for which you want to apply certain restrictions. Let's say you have blocked USB access in for every user, but there is one user coming to you for an urgent requirement and it has been approved. You can unblock the USB access to that particular user as well. Now, how do you do that? You can, based on the USBs, UID number, you can unblock only that particular USB for a certain for a certain time, and that user can use it and do and finish the purpose, and then after that time, the it will come back to the main policies which are being applied for all, which are which can be the central policies. Yes, I hope I answered your question there. Thank you, everyone. So that is it from my side. If you don't have any more questions there, that is it from my side. And I hope the webinar had been informative and it has been useful, right? And again, take care of yourself and have a great day ahead.